Hi guys, you are welcome back to Significant Woman. My name is Edith and today we are tackling a very interesting topic that many introverts, including myself, find both rewarding but also challenging. And so we are going to be talking about building relationships as an introvert. Now, whether you are naturally an introvert or you're just looking for ways in how to navigate social situations in a more comfortable way, this video is for you because we are going to look at insights but also practical strategies in how you can build relationships very effectively. So we are going to be talking about what it means to be an introvert and some of the challenges that we face, and then also strategies that we can use to develop deeper connections. And I know you might be saying, do I really have to build relationships? Because I know sometimes you're wondering whether it is really worth it. But one thing I've come to really appreciate is that building relationships is very critical. It is very significant in enhancing our professional but also personal life. So as an introvert, you understanding how you can navigate or develop relationships in a way that aligns with your personality is very helpful, because it will help you to really develop deeper connections and deeper bonds. So before we actually continue, let's first define what an introvert actually is, because many people have many thoughts and many misconceptions about being an introvert. They think introverts are shy, they are quiet, they are antisocial, but that is not what it actually means to be an introvert. So, an introvert is someone with a personality trait that is characterized by a preference or a love for solitary activities and small, more intimate social gatherings or social engagements. So unlike extroverts, where you find that for them, they are the life of the party, they want to be out, for them, they get energized by social engagements. Introverts, on the other hand, just prefer spending time alone, because that is how they get re-energized. And if they are to be with people, they want to be with a small, intimate group, a small, very few close friends, and that is how they will be, that is how they will be energized instead of a very big, large crowd. And so some of the common traits of introverts, and I'm going to encourage you, if I don't talk about some of the things that some of the traits that please feel free to share in the comment section below. So one of the characteristics of introverts is deep focus. For them, they prefer or they thrive in solitary environments where they can easily concentrate very deeply on their tasks or even their interests. And I can give a personal example, because I'm one of those introverts that you meet and you can really tell. Because most times if you ask me some of the things that I like, I don't hesitate to tell people that I love spending time alone or even being in a very quiet environment. So I have a very interesting role. When you're a leader, you have to be open. So I have this open door rule at office. So usually my office door is open so that people can get in and say hi and all those things. But when I really want to concentrate, I'm going to come, literally sneak into my office, close the door, don't open the windows, and pretend like I'm not there so that I can concentrate on this one task that I really want to get over with. So you find that even when it comes to interests, like maybe it's after a very long day and you want to just catch a movie by yourself or relax, just sleep, you find that most of us are going to pretend like we are not there. You just want to, just be in a very quiet place. Even if you have a roommate, you don't want to talk to them, you just want to be by yourself. And then the other thing is that we really prefer meaningful conversations. Now, if you're a person of small talk, you're going to find it very challenging to connect with introverts, because for them, they want to go for deeper, meaningful conversations over small talks. And usually, large group discussions, they are very uncomfortable for them. They find them so draining. And I remember a few weeks ago, I was part of a very interesting group who had finished doing an exam. It was the last exam and everyone was happy. So most of us, most of my classmates, just gathered somewhere, and yeah, they were really sharing and all that. I went there for a few seconds, just to fit in and relax and be part of what everyone was doing. But for me, it was really draining. And after taking a few photos, I really had to sneak off and go to my room and relax. But it's interesting because I was sharing a room with one of my friends. She's an extrovert, and for her, that was where she wanted to be. So for her, she was looking for, where can I get people and and interact. Even when we had dinner, after sticking around for a few minutes, I just had to tell her, what, I'm going to the room. And I left her there because for her, she was just getting re-energized after a very long period of exams. She needed to get to get with people and talk and jazz, because that's how she was getting re-energized. But me, on the other hand, I had to go to my room and catch a movie and get a breather. So for us, we really, really find it very uncomfortable to be in large group discussions. But then the other thing is that we are very reflective. Many introverts want to think about things that they want to talk about before they actually verbalize them. And the other thing is that they prefer solitude. So you find that for many introverts, they prefer, just even if it's to do with activities or hobbies, they will prefer and enjoy activities that don't need a lot of people, that don't need a crowd, or being in a very crowded, noisy place. For them, they want to do activities that they can either do by themselves alone, or just with a small group of people. So activities like traveling, maybe traveling with a few friends, maybe reading or writing or watching a movie. Those are the kinds of activities and hobbies they really enjoy. And I must tell you that being an introvert sometimes is not easy, because we face a number of challenges that I really want to bring out. And please, I also again encourage you, if you have some of the things that you have faced, please, if I don't talk about them or you want to elaborate and share your own experience, please share in the comment section below. Or if you know someone, because you might not be an introvert, but at least all of us have interacted or interfaced with an introvert. So please feel free to share in the comment section below. So some of the challenges, and personally, that I have faced, number one is social exhaustion. So for us, social gatherings are exhausting. So for people like extroverts, being in a social gathering, going for a party, a big crowd, for them, they are enjoying that. They are finding it so energizing. To us, it is very exhausting. And I must tell you, I think every time I come up like from a conference or a training or a mission, the first thing I want to do is enter my house and keep quiet. Recently we were in a mission. We went for a mission in Karamoja, one of the regions in Uganda, and we were there for a whole week. Of course, we were sleeping in a dorm. It's a mission. We're many missioners. We are sharing a big room, and we are going out in the community, talking with people. So literally, like from morning till evening, you're interacting with people, either missioners or community members. You're going for film shows, and it was so draining. Like when I came back home the following day, I didn't take any phone calls. I just remained in my house and slept. I didn't interact with many people on social media. I would go there maybe just to check and know what is happening, but I just needed that time by myself. So you find that many times after we've gone for social gatherings, even if it's, as long as there is a big, large crowd, many introverts just want to spend time by themselves to just re-energize. And then the other challenge is initiating conversations. Guys, I think for extroverts, I've gone with people, and you enter this room, you're all new, you don't know so many people, and someone is already saying hi to this one, they are connecting with the other. And for me, the only thing I'm thinking about is maybe I just need to look for a corner and just sit there until maybe the session or the training that we have gone to attend begins, or sometimes I've had to even sneak away, the whole bit of how do I begin a conversation with this person. And I'm a Christian. I love sharing my faith with people. And I really usually admire people who go like on a bus or on a plane, and the moment they sit, they're interacting with their neighbor and they are sharing their faith, and for the whole journey, they are catching up with this person. Me, on the other hand, I will sit on a bus and I really want to share my faith with this person who is next to me. But you just think, okay, now how do I begin? How will this person feel? But then, okay, if I've shared with them, maybe it would take me 30 minutes. And then what if they want to share? And that means for 4 hours, I have to do a back and forth and talk with them and create conversation. So you find that sometimes I've thought about the whole thing and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to risk it. I'll just sit and relax and keep quiet and read a book and sleep and have a peace of mind. So usually initiating conversations is really, really not easy. And sometimes people will think, oh, because you're proud or you're antisocial. No, it's those struggles that we go through as introverts, and you're just wondering, okay, how do I go about this one? So it's really sometimes not intentional, but it's like someone just doesn't know how to initiate a conversation with you. Even if you're their neighbor, they might say hi and they just stop there because they don't know exactly what to add on. And then the other thing is how to navigate social gatherings. It is also a very big challenge. So sometimes I've gone for maybe trainings or conferences, and I just look at how people, like those minutes before the real sessions begin, and people are interacting. It's a very big crowd. It is so noisy. People are jumping from this one to the other. They are laughing. I look at all that. It is too draining. And sometimes what I do, I sneak off, I withdraw. And when I hear that the session has begun, then I can come and join. And usually, immediately after the training or the conference, I sneak off. Like, I can give an example at church. I know many people that I go to church with, the service that I attend, because it's for the youth, for young people that I've known for years. And it would be easy for me, maybe when I see them during church, during service, I want to go after service and say hi and, all those things. But I just don't, I find it difficult to, navigate those social engagements and interactions. So usually after service, the one thing I'm thinking about is, how do I get out of this place? Because it is really not easy to navigate all those conversations and have to say hi to this one and the other. So for us, navigating social gatherings is also a very, very big challenge, because the crowd, the noise, the big numbers is quite overwhelming, and we don't know how to go about them. And lastly, many introverts actually really struggle with social anxiety, and it is very difficult for them to overcome shyness. And this really affects their social interactions, because the moment they are in large crowds, or even when they are given an opportunity to speak, you find that they are really thinking about, okay, how are people going to judge me? How are they going to take me? How will I look up there? And you find that this really causes them to panic, and this really affects their interactions with people, or even their ability to develop or build strong relationships with other people. So there are very many other challenges that we face, but this shouldn't be an excuse for us not to build relationships. We have to find a way of navigating these challenges and ensure that we have strong bonds in our lives. So some of the strategies that we can use to build these meaningful connections, number one is to leverage our strength. So one thing I know is that many introverts really are good at one-on-one interactions, where their listening skills and empathetic skills really shine. So I'm going to encourage you that you use that strength to build connections and, connect with people in a more personal setting. I remember there was a time when I attended a very large conference, 3,000 plus people in 2016. Many of my friends that I had gone with came back with about 20 phone numbers. Like, they had connected with so many people. For me, in that conference, I connected with one girl. But up to now, almost 10 years later, we are still in touch. The other thing that you need to do is to prepare ahead, because we've already talked about the whole bit of how it is very difficult for us to initiate conversations or navigate social gatherings. So if you are going to this gathering, you really need to be intentional and prepare maybe topics or questions that you might have to talk about, and that is going to help you to be more confident as you engage with other people. And then the other thing that you can do is to join online platforms. You might not really be very comfortable being part of large reunions, class reunions, and all that, or professional groups. But when you join them online, you're going to still be able to learn so much and gain a lot from these online platforms, and you will not be on pressure really to talk and and contribute and all that, because you will be able to interact with people online at your own pace. So please, if you cannot join, if you find it very difficult for you or very uncomfortable to be part of this big professional group, you can still join them online and you will get the same benefits. So the other thing that you need to do is to create a safe space for yourself. So instead of going for big gatherings or a very loud, noisy place, you can go for small, secluded places and meet with a small group of people, and that way it is going to be more relaxing and less tasking for you. So it's just a matter of knowing what really works for you and you go for it, because at the end of the day, you want to be comfortable and less overwhelmed after talking or interacting with people. So if you are in control, then please create an environment that is really comfortable for you. Because personally, I know I really love meeting with my friends. I have a small intimate group of friends that I've known since university, and instead of, I think we rarely meet for these big gatherings. Maybe there is a concert and whatnot. We rarely really go for those ones, but we meet oftentimes for sleepovers, for lunch, for like just to catch up in a very quiet place. For me, that really works for me. It is comfortable for me, rather than going for a big gathering and by the time I reach home, I'm drained, I'm exhausted. So please know what really works for you. Even if it means going on a date, please, you go to a place that is really not going to be too loud for you and you don't enjoy that date. Go to a place, suggest a place that is really very comfortable for you. And for me, sometimes if it means meeting with friends and I know I'm very comfortable with them, I would rather invite them to my house rather than me going out, because sometimes even just leaving my house is really not easy. So if I really want to meet with this person, I will invite them to come to my house. We will have fun, and then at the end of the day, I will have met them. That is the most important thing. And then the other thing is to create your own boundaries. The bad thing is that sometimes we are very overwhelmed. We don't want to go for these things and we actually don't talk about it. But you really need to create your own boundaries and communicate them very clearly. And I told you about the class that I was attending with a friend, and I remember that day I had to really tell her, you know what, I can't really remain here because this is really overwhelming for me. I don't like, this is not how I relax, so I have to go back to the room. And she understood. So instead of you being pushed into doing things and going for these big parties, for me, if you invite me to go for a party as a plus one, most likely I'm going to turn it down, and I'll tell you, you know what, I really am not a fan of parties. So if you want us to hang out, please, let's meet at my home, let's meet at your place, or we can go out for dinner or for coffee, something like that. So you really need to communicate boundaries to the people around you. And trust me, many people are going to understand and they will give you the space that you need. But then also you need to practice self-care. After a very exhausting engagement, do not forget yourself, do not neglect yourself. So do something that is relaxing, that is going to help you to re-energize and become yourself again. Like I've told you, for me, after I think every retreat, every training, every conference that I've gone for, where I go out and maybe even sometimes it's just a long day, what I need is to return home, not return any call, sleep on the couch or go on my bed, watch a movie and relax. Just that helps me to relax. So you need to know what really works for you. If it's a hot bath, please go for it. If it's you just being on phone, please do that. But as long as you take care of yourself, because self-care is really important. So If you know that you need to spend time alone and relax, please do that so that you can be stronger and energized to go again the following day. And then the other thing that we need to do is to set realistic goals. Because when we are planning, we are looking at all the aspects of our lives: physical, we are looking at the spiritual, you're looking at the mental, you're looking at all these things. So you also need to have goals, set goals for your social life, but then be very, very realistic so that the action steps that you put down, you're going to be able to follow through. Because already you know that large crowds are not your thing. So instead of saying, okay, I'm going to join maybe this group at church or this professional group, go for something that is smaller. Like I've already said, like at church, we have many social groups. And for me, if it's like a lock-in, or if it's a sleepover, or it's a retreat, usually I will find it very difficult for me to want to attend, because yeah, already it's obvious I'm not going to be very comfortable. But if it's a small thing like a book club, I can join that. If it's a cell group, I can join that, because that is a bit small and contained and intimate, and there I will be more comfortable to develop meaningful relationships. So you really need to set realistic goals, like this is the kind of group I would want to be a part of, and I actually and I gain something from it, so go for that one. Or if it means visiting people, set realistic goals, because you know every week it's not going to be possible. Then say once in a while, once a month, I'm going to join to visit a friend, or I will go for a lunch with friends once in a while. So set goals that are realistic and that you can achieve. But then the other thing is that you can use written communication. If it's very difficult for you to verbalize what you want to say, or express yourself, you can go for written communication, where you can easily express your feelings and express yourself in a meaningful way and in a clear, precise way. So you can go for a text, you can go for a WhatsApp message, you can go for an email. At the end of the day, know what really works for you and go for that. But then when things really get bad, seek for professional help, because for some people, the social anxiety is unbearable. They get panic attacks. They really don't know how to communicate with people. They end up being lonely. They end up getting depressed. They end up being, loners. You literally have no circles around you. Or even the people that are around you don't know how to maintain them. And yet it is very important that we have people around us, that we have connections, that we have relationships. So if it is very difficult for you, please do not hesitate to seek for professional help, and you get the help that you need. So I hope that this has really been very helpful for you. Please do not hesitate also to share in the comment section below some of the things, some of the strategies that we can use to build meaningful conversations. And I hope that we will get better in our being introverts, in our quietness, as people always think. Please make sure that you build relationships, because it is going to be worthwhile for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.